Welcome to Divi Group's Experience Sharing channel. Today we'll share our experience in choosing fuel for boilers in Vietnam, as well as the right boiler technology for that type of fuel, so that you can get the lowest production costs while maintaining environmental standards. As we all know, combustion fuel accounts for 90% of the boiler's steam production costs, and combustion technology determines most of the environmental emissions problem. Therefore, choosing the right fuel and appropriate combustion technology will help us not only optimize the cost of steam production, but also ensure environmental standards, peace of mind for production. About the former, we'll talk about choosing the right fuel in Vietnam. In Vietnam, there are many popular fuels, such as diesel oil, gas, coal. These are fuels that you can easily find anywhere in Vietnam, but it is classified as a high-cost fuel in Vietnam. As we all know, up to 3/4 of Vietnam's territory is mountainous, stretching from the north to the south, and a very large part of the area is currently being planted with industrial crops such as rubber trees, indigo trees, eucalyptus trees. The main purpose is to supply wood for the wood processing industry. Therefore, there are various types of waste products from this wood processing industry, such as sawdust, chopped wood chips, tree branches. Currently, supply of these three fuel mentioned above is very cheap and easy to buy in all regions. Moreover, in Vietnam, some regions also have their own specific fuels as follows. For the western region, including 13 provinces, the supply of crushed rice husk firewood, and rice husk pellets is abundant, but the price varies by season. In the western provinces, it is possible to use a backup fuel source, which is imported coal from Indonesia, which is also quite cheap, and you can use it at times when the price of rice husk fuel is high. For the south, including Ho Chi Minh, Dong Nai, Binh Duong, Binh Phuoc, Tay Ninh, Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu, Binh Thuan, there are many fuel sources with very large output and very cheap prices as follows: chopped wood chips, sawdust, crushed rice husk, cashew nut residue, firewood, rice husk firewood, and coal fuel imported from Indonesia. For the central region, the fuel sources of chopped wood chips and sawdust are the two main fuels with abundant reserves and low unit prices. There are also some typical fuel types as follows. The Central Highlands region has an additional fuel source, which is coffee husks. Dak Lak, Ninh Thuan, and Can Hoa have crushed rice husks as other fuel sources. In the central region, there are sources of coal fuel imported from Indonesia that are transported from ports in the southern region, but they have a slightly higher cost than the southern region. For the north, in addition to fuels such as chopped firewood, sawdust in large quantities and cheap units, this area also has quite popular fuel sources such as firewood, coal imported from Indonesia, rice husks found in some provinces of the Red River Delta, such as Tai Binh, Hai Phong, Nam Dinh, Ninh Binh, but the quality is small due to not focusing on cultivation in this area. This is the price list of some common fuels with large quantities and their calorific value for us to easily visualize and compare. From the list above, we can see that fuels with cheap unit prices include sawdust, chopped wood chips, rubber wood, rice husks, crushed rice husks, rice husk firewood, cashew residues, and Indonesian coal brand. All have unit prices that do not exceed more than 1.500 VND per kilogram. So, is this fuel providing the cheapest steam production cost? To answer this question, let's take a look at the fuel consumption table of each type above for 1 ton of steam at 50% load of boiler design capacity, so that we can make a comparison. We find that fuel with low unit cost, in return, its fuel consumption per ton is slightly higher than fuels with expensive unit prices. Based on the above table, we find that the fuel consumption for 1 ton of steam for diesel fuel is the lowest, then Vietnam's coal, followed by Vietnamese coal brand. But based on above two factors alone, we still cannot conclude which fuel can create the lowest steam production cost for customers. To make an accurate assessment, please take a look at the table of fuel costs to produce 1 ton of steam as follows. To avoid confusion, we'll take a close look at the indicators based on the chart for visualization. We find that there are 8 types of fuels that can help us have relatively low production costs of steam as follows: Craft Village sawdust, rubber wood chips, rubber wood, rice husks, rice husk firewood, crushed rice husks, cashew residues, and Indonesian coal brand. Therefore, if you're investing in a factory in any part of Vietnam, you can choose a fuel like our analysis above, which will certainly give you a sustainable cost of steam production when investing in Vietnam. We have identified a fuel type with low steam production costs in Vietnam. Now we'll go into the selection of suitable combustion technology for these fuels to ensure the environmental standards regulated in Vietnam. About the latter, choose the right technology. As we have seen, fuels with low steam production costs are fuels with low calorific value, according to the world's experience for hundreds of years. To burn fuels with low calorific value, fluidized bed boiler technology is the most optimal choice to ensure fuel combustion efficiency and ensure environmental issues. Fluidized bed boiler technology in Vietnam is also quite common and is completely controlled domestic technology. In addition, there's the chain grate boiler technology that can also burn some of the above fuels, but the requirements for input fuel quality must be higher as follows. The fuel must be dried to a moisture content of less than 30%. The fuel particle size should not be less than 10 millimeters. These are two qualities that cause the fuel unit price to increase, leading to an increase in production costs. If these conditions are not ensured, the fuel combustion efficiency of the chain grate boiler is not high enough and does not fully meet the environmental standards according to current Vietnamese regulations. Besides, we also have static grate boiler. This type of boiler is suitable for burning large-sized fuels such as wood, rice husk wood, large coal. The process of supplying fuel to the boiler is carried out manually, so it depends quite a bit on the operator. This leads to relatively low efficiency, high fuel consumption, and unstable environmental standards when using static grate boiler. But advantage of static grate boiler is lower investment cost than fluidized bed boiler and chain grate boiler. Thus, fluidized bed boiler technology is the most reasonable solution if you want to make a new investment or replace the boiler in Vietnam. To learn more about fluidized bed boiler technology in Vietnam, you can watch more videos on Divi Group's YouTube channel. Above is our basic advice for you to have an optimal option when investing in a factory in Vietnam to get the lowest production cost while still ensuring current Vietnamese environmental standards. For more in-depth advice, please contact our hotlines +84 942 488 818 or +84 918 765 331. Thank you.